Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl, Mrs. Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Mrs. Michelle DIY. For divine intervention, honey, because there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because your girl's going to give you the good information, boo, the things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And y'all know this month, it's June, y'all. It is Men's Month 2025, honey. And you know how your girl do. I always have something extra special for you. This year, we are doing something a little different. Now, if y'all been following your girl, for March and for Women's Month, we did Lessons and Blessings. And I thought, why not continue the series and do Lessons and Blessings, the men's edition? So this month, each and every day, I will have an inspiring message or an empowering man on the show with your girl. So y'all make sure y'all tune in every day. Now, today, my special guest is none other. It's the Bishop, honey. I'm just so excited. Y'all don't even understand how excited I am. He is the Bishop of the Church of the Living God, PGT, Dallas, Texas. It is my big cousin. Oh, y'all don't even understand. He is the oldest cousin in the family. He is carrying and wearing all the hats, honey. He is amazing. He is inspiring. We're going to hear a little bit about his journey today. It's my cousin. Yes, Bishop Abraham Henson is with your girl today. I'm so excited. Hey, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am excited. I'm so
Good,
excited.
good,
Listen,
good.
family or not, I never take for granted when people take time to come and spend time on the podcast because, just to come and share your journey, it's a blessing. And so I thank you, honey.
Well, I appreciate you asking me, and I appreciate this. This is really awesome, awesome, and I love your platform.
Thank
Continue the good work.
you.
Continue the
Thank
good
you.
work.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh man, that always feels good. Your girl don't do this just
Mhm.
for the things, but to hear the feedback is always nice. Thank you,
Yeah.
honey.
You're
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So,
welcome.
are you the youngest bishop?
I am the youngest bishop on the bishop staff now. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that is. I remember thinking that when you first became bishop, and I was like, man, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Just we're not going to start there at the bishop part. We're going to go back
Okay.
and hear a little bit about your journey. We're not going to start there.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to come back and tell us a little bit about your journey and how did you even start? I call it your faith walk, but how did you even start this walk with God?
Well, it started actually long before I started in the ministry. As far back as I can remember going to church, being active in church there in Tyler at the Church of the Living God at 1326 North Palace. That's where the roots started. And I was actually attending services there. My grandfather would make sure that on Sunday that we all, as his grandkids, we got up and a lot of us marched with him from the house to the church, going to church. And that's where it started. It was there. I really, truly was one that enjoyed going to church and being active in church and things of that sort. Started there, moved on from there to where I was active, as I said, and even as a young man,
Mm-hmm.
was one of the younger deacons
Wow.
there at the church for a while, and then moved off, went to the army, and at the latter part of my stint in the army, the Lord called me into the ministry,
Wow.
and I've been toiling since then, and that's been 91. My first sermon was preached on the third Sunday
Come on now.
in March of 1991.
Come on now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Do you remember the sermon name? What
I
was
remember the sermon name. It was from, yes, James 5,
Mhm.
verse 11. And I asked the question, are you truly happy?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That
And
is
the
amazing.
the thing about that is I could get up and preach that sermon to this day, and that was 30 something years ago. I could actually get up and preach that sermon to this day. That's the impact that it had
Yes.
on me.
I, and and in 91, how old were you? About look roundabouts.
Yeah. 30. Oh, you got me calculating. Listen, I'm 58 now.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Well,
was,
you would have been in your early 30s.
yeah, my
That
age.
I'm just thinking about that title. Are you happy? There, that and like you said, that's relevant today.
Yes,
So many
yes.
people are journeying and just are not happy. I always I think about going to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is for all my church folk out here, because listen, the Holy Spirit is amazing.
Yep.
I always think about going to church and how I went to church every Sunday with
Mm-hmm.
suicidal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Depressed,
Yeah.
sad, anxiety, having panic attacks, but was going and working and serving. Are
Mm-hmm.
you happy?
Yeah.
Come
I
on, Jay.
think that even with that, what I believe, what kept you from engaging in those acts and
Mhm.
doing what was on your mind and everything. I think that was the act of actually going. You may not have had the relationship with God that you have today,
Yeah,
but I believe that when there is something there, the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. When he's
yes,
old, he's not depart from him. I
yes,
think so. All of us, if we have that as a foundation,
yes,
and we continue to do, to go through the motions, and I put it that way. We continue to go through the motions of it. I think that that gives us some hope,
yes,
and it keeps God on the forefront to where we
yes.
won't engage in those acts. So I'd say, and I would say it's been over. You can't be within something for a number of years
Mhm.
and not have those issues.
Yes,
I be very honest with you. I don't think it's well known, but I've in life I've attempted suicide twice,
wow,
and yeah,
wow.
and after the one was after I started preaching. One was before, just before, and the other one was after, right after I started preaching.
Now listen, this is so important. There are 1 in 5 people that are suffering with some mental health something, whether it's depression, anxiety, and then there's 1 in 8 statistically. Because some people
Mhm.
out there like, man, I've never this and I've never that. Well, keep living, boo, because this 1 in 8, I
Yeah,
don't wish it on
yeah,
you. But
yeah,
I'm just
yes,
saying
yes.
statistically, 1 in 8 people in their lifetime will suffer and come up with some, again, mental health something, whether it's
Hmm.
depression, anxiety, or whatever. And so this is something that I felt like, we have to break the stigma. And I'm so happy that you said that. Y'all, we didn't have this conversation before. He did not tell me this. I had
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah.
But I feel like God is amazing in this because the need to share that these thoughts do come up and they come up in the best of us.
Hmm.
Can you give a little bit about what shifted you the first time, what happened, and what stopped you the first time and the second time?
Both. The first time was I wasn't happy with my life. I was
Mhm.
in the military,
Yeah.
and there I was seeking something,
Mhm.
and didn't couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it, and I've never have been a big drinker. I'll say this, and this may make someone laugh. I've been drunk one time in my life,
Mhm. Mhm.
one time, and I think I was 19 or something then.
Yeah.
And at that point, I decided I was through drinking. So since 19, I haven't had anything to drink. I've never in my life smoked anything, the we
Yeah.
have anything, period.
Yeah.
Um, and so a lot of people, they may have that as an
Cope.
out. Uh,
Mhm.
it's
Mm,
the wrong out, but a lot of them may have that as an out.
yeah.
And I really had nothing. I was in Germany,
Mhm.
in the military, and I really didn't have anyone there. It wasn't easy access to
Yeah.
any particular family members, that things of that sort.
Yeah.
And I just felt a void and lonely. So it was like, honestly, the I said Satan worked with me
Mhm.
to the point to where it was like, you have nothing, so why not?
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
took some pills.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, took
The
some
first
pills.
time you took some pills.
Yep.
And I wanna talk about that for a minute because the hopelessness that resides, I think, in this world today, the
Mhm.
hopelessness that resides in your spirit. And again, it happens to the best of us. And you do have the thoughts of it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't even
yeah,
matter.
yeah,
No one will care. Somehow I call him he sits on your shoulder and like sits and whispers in your ear all these
yeah,
negative thoughts, and we're
yeah,
just sitting and soaking it up and telling, and then something will happen at a cosigner. Yeah, that happened. Nobody care about me, and nobody.
yeah.
The devil is a liar.
Yeah. What I've found though is that a lot of times we think we have a relationship with God,
Yes,
and we really don't.
yes,
And we've allowed that falseness of that to be. And I'll be very honest with you. I think a lot of that goes on today.
yes.
We've Society has gotten to a point to where I often tell the church, a lot of people are saved by cliches
Talk about it.
and not the true word of God.
Yeah.
Something that they've heard,
Hmm.
something that that they've taken on as a mantra
Right.
for their life motto and
Yeah.
things. And I think it takes the true word of God to really, really, really set in and fill that void that
Yes.
you're missing when you're outside of a relationship with God.
Yes. This is a very, very important fact because again, I said I was coming to church every Sunday, right?
Yeah, yeah,
People are
yeah.
going to church. People are singing in the choir. People are ushering. People are playing the piano. People are preaching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Statistically, preachers they're up there. And Tyler, I was saying, is the number one area for pastors to commit suicide. I just learned that last week at Love Thy City. One of the pastors said it. And I thought, wow, it does not make you immune, right? Because you're going to church,
Right.
because you think you
Right.
have a relationship. And it's just like you said, it's not, having that real relationship. Somewhere in you, there's some conflicting,
That's wrong. Right, right.
you know. Yes. Tell us a little bit about what happened the second time.
The
And thank God, but
Yeah,
did they pump your stomach or somebody found you? What
yeah,
happened?
yeah, they found me at the time, pumped my stomach and everything
Mm,
with that one. And actually at that point, I guess during that recovery
yeah.
was when I felt the call.
Wow.
That's when I felt the call, and I had the Holy Spirit was like, if you don't want to live for you,
Mm,
then live for me.
wow.
And so I told with that, because I'm gonna be very honest with you. I've always been active in church. I've always done this and that, but it was one thing that I had a grand fear of:
Hmm.
speaking in public.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
that wasn't anything that I really, really, really wanted to do. I had I had always, my nickname and everything had always been Deacon. Deacon. And
Hmm.
your dad actually gave me that nickname. And so so as high or as much as I wanted to do in church was to be a deacon.
Yes, yeah. You said,
And
"That's it.
so
That's all I got. That's
yeah,
it."
that's it. Just let me be deacon. I'm good. I'm do anything, anything above that. I can just sit over there in the corner
Yes,
and just be a deacon.
yeah.
And my father in the ministry was Elder Wheeler Jones, or he bishop by the time he passed away. Bishop Wheeler Jones
Yeah.
was my father in the ministry, and Bishop Barry was my grandfather in the ministry.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, and my first message was, as I said, it was there at Palace Street. I came home from
Mhm.
Germany to preach that message,
Wow.
and did that and preached and left and went back. Well, went through this, went through that, ended up getting married a little later.
Mhm.
It was through the struggles of the first marriage that
Mhm.
caused me to attempt it the second time.
You know what? I
Mhm.
had a man in the office um, doing a depression screening, and he said, "This is very significant. I'm so happy that you said that because the man said." Everyone depends on me. He felt like a failure. Part of the depression screen is do as a man, do you feel like a failure as if you let your family down? That man cried for about 15 minutes straight.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
that was one of the things that shifted me I feel like the Lord gave me that experience because I wasn't supposed to be in there.
Hmm.
But I ended up in there talking to this man and he cried. I had to stop doing the test and turn around. I mean, literally for straight, like not even
Yeah.
exaggerating, a straight 15 minutes. And
Hmm.
it is the pain and the weight of all of the things.
Yeah.
As you
That's
see it.
yeah. When it comes to a man and I'm gonna use this term, the traditional role
Yes.
of a man being the head of the family,
Yeah.
it's a heavy load, most especially in today's time. It's a heavy load. And what has happened, and I don't want to take away from
Hmm.
uh, the struggles, the hardship, nor the successes of a single mother.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from that. So because that's great and that's something to look at also. But
Hmm.
I don't think today no one really looks at the heavy weight that's on a man
Yes.
to lead and carry his family.
Yeah.
And it's tremendous.
Mhm.
And it's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot. It's
yeah,
a lot. Whether you're equipped for it, it's still nothing can prepare you for the weight of it.
yes,
You can be taught, you can be, everything, but your experiences are your experiences.
yeah.
And that takes it's a heavy weight. It's a heavy weight. And what has happened is over or in the past, we've been taught as men, you don't get emotional.
Mhm,
You don't seek help.
mhm.
And that even includes you, to be very honest with you, even in the male and male relationship, as far as a friendship, your
Mhm,
best friend or something
mhm.
like, it's just certain things that you don't talk about.
Yes,
And I think that a lot of times that heavy weight gets to us along the way.
surely,
Yeah.
surely. What I found in working with men is just what you're saying. They will, quote unquote, just front with their friends.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they will
Yeah.
pretend as if everything is okay. Their world will be falling apart. The relationship with the wife isn't going through, but but you guys have to pretend and act as if everything is fine. And then you have to act like you don't care if they do
Right.
leave.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
It is
Exactly.
the thing of being quote unquote weak, right? You
Yeah.
don't want to be known as a weak person
We-
and whatever else that comes with that. But there is a lot to navigate, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
being a young man. So what would you say that second time? Because to be there that first time is one thing, right? But to be
Hmm.
there that second time, what happened in that? What brought you out of that situation?
you kind of have a set thing on how you think marriage should be. You think how long you should be with, who you're
Mm,
gonna be. I've always wanted to be married,
yeah.
and I never wanted to be divorced.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to. I had always had the desire, and my dreams were always that whoever I had my kids with, that's who I was going to be married to for however long.
Yeah.
Well, life didn't happen that way,
Yeah.
and so with the struggle, and I'm trying not to. I don't want to put her on,
Of course. Of course.
on Front Street, if that's still a term to use.
It is.
But through the struggles, she decided that she wanted to leave it. I
Yeah.
didn't want her to leave it. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be it to go that route,
Sure.
and so that led to the attempt.
Yeah.
And with that, there were, well, I'd say two cousins that knew and came to my rescue.
Wow.
One was Byron,
I love it.
and the other one was Derek.
I love it.
And the role that Byron played was he was married at the time, living in Dallas, and so me and him kept close.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of the people that she called when she found me.
Wow. Wow.
And he met me at the hospital. He met me at the hospital, and for a while, a long while, Derek would call and check on me
Yeah.
to make sure that I was okay and that I was stable and come by and see me and all of that. And
Yeah.
so that kind of got me to that point to where I had to make a choice. I'll be very honest with you. I had to make a
Mm,
choice.
yeah.
Either it was that situation or my relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose my relationship with God.
Yeah.
He worked everything else out.
And have you found that one, God is amazing how he surrounds people, there are people around you that you don't even know that's going to lift you up, right?
Right,
There are
right.
people around you. God always gives us those people. But have you found that, early in that recovery, have you found that you've worked more with people that have some similar or going through some similar things that you've gone through where you could use that journey to to help you or to help them?
Actually, actually, no. Actually, to be very honest with you, now this was my journey.
Yeah.
Um, he actually put stronger people that have not been
Okay.
through that in my life. And to
Mm,
be very honest with you, I would even say that wouldn't even understand
yeah.
being there to and through. I think that number one, God knows us,
Yes.
and he knows what will help us, he knows what will not help us. I believe that if at that point, if he had, it would not have helped.
Mm,
I
okay.
had to go through the journey that he sent me through, and that was with people that were stronger than
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
that wouldn't even understand it. And so what it did was it made me recover in the sense to where I didn't talk about that. I didn't speak along those lines. That was, like I said, this is some of the things that one, I don't know when the last time until here recently that I even spoke about it. That was, like I said, I'm sure some of this is new to you.
I've never
Uh,
heard.
and we're
Yeah.
family, so we're
Yes.
family. So
Yes.
so it was. Now I've gotten at the point in the ministry to where now I'm speaking of it more.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with people more that are going through that, and even to the point of I think that he showed me, or I learned what a unsuccessful marriage was,
Yes.
to where who I'm with now,
Yes.
I love her to death,
Hmm.
we're going on 28 years. November will be 28 years
Wow.
together. And so it was okay. I'll show you what not to do,
Yeah.
and then let you experience what to do.
Yes.
And so, with the experience of what to do, I'll say this: it wasn't until I graduated
Mm-hmm.
from his school that he had me in, and I
Yeah.
had to have all of the classes. That was
Yeah.
when I started experiencing people who were in that,
Yeah.
who have been going through
You
that,
were
and
ready.
it's been,
You were
yeah,
ready.
even with the marriage, even with the marriage problems,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. I'm dealing with a lot of that now in counseling people and
Yeah.
all of that. People in depression, and even knowing or having a real or a true relationship with God, and
Mm-hmm.
what the difference is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been my journey along that line.
I love that because, like you said, everyone's experience is different and God does know what you need. And
Hmm.
so, and I think even from a female to a male perspective and what we need and what you guys need, I hear a lot of people and a lot of guys say, I don't want to talk about that. Like, I
Hmm.
can't talk about that right now.
Hmm.
You guys tend to just want to move on and shift
Yeah.
until you can get to a point.
Right. Right. Right.
Until you can get to a point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Um, I think as women, and not speaking for all women, but most, we got to talk about it. We need to work it out. We got to get through it, and then we can move on because we're emotional. We're more emotional beings, and so dealing with that, and even in what you're doing now, I feel like stuff like that has happened in your past and things, I feel like it kind of holds you hostage to a certain degree
Mm.
until you're able to release it. Because I don't feel like none of it that happened is for you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you used it, right? But I do feel like, or at least that's been my experience, is that
Well, it
it
can
it's for someone else. It's for you
yeah,
to someone else.
it's right. It's for someone else. But that word hostage
Yeah.
that you use, I don't believe that.
Okay.
Okay. I believe that scripture says that he won't put any more on you than you're able to bear.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that you're not doesn't mean that you're not going to go through
Right.
anything, but it does mean that whatever you go through, he knows that you're able to handle it
Mm-hmm.
or deal with it. Now, um, I don't believe that the situation hold us hostage. I believe that we move in with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold us hostage because we can step out and we can leave anytime we want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just decide to move in with it
Mm-hmm.
and sit in it and waddle in it and do and dance around in it and live with it and all. That's a
Yeah.
choice that we make. I
Yeah.
believe that he gives us the strength even immediately to number one. I think that to if it was he gives us he it may come, all of us are going to go through some things,
Yeah.
but I think that if we initially deal with it with and allow him to deal with it, it wouldn't affect us the way that we generally end up affected by it.
Right.
If let's just say okay, we don't and we step into it, then I think that the effects of it is still one of those things to where at one point, once if we truly give it to him,
Yeah.
we don't have to be there. It doesn't hold us hostage because it doesn't have the power or the strength. And hostage uh, has no
Right.
choice.
Right.
A hostage can't leave when a hostage want to leave. A
Right.
hostage has to leave whenever the person that's holding this hostage
Right.
tells them that they can leave. And
Right.
I just don't believe that that's what our life situations and problems hold us.
Yes.
We have the choice to leave.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the thing. And Lord knows, when we if we go back to a lot of the spiritual, scriptorial, and life lessons of how we were brought up,
Mm-hmm.
we'll find the strength to do it. But sometimes we allow it to be affect us more than
Yes.
what we should allow it to. And that's my
Yeah.
personal belief.
Yeah. So this is how I love that you said this. I love this.
Mhm. Okay.
I love this. I love this. So it is, you're exactly right. Right. But like you said, a lot of things that have happened, we don't take the time, right?
Mhm.
Don't deal with it. And so when I say hostage, what I mean is it's exactly what you said. Now I believe that the devil will create these mirages in your mind and make you think that, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so when I envision hostage, every time when I first got this vision, I saw the dogs, like, you know how they're like you're walking past and they're in the yard and they're running, running after you,
Right. Right.
and the chain will yank them back.
Mhm.
You know, like you can only go so far and then the chain yanks you back. Like I kept
Right.
seeing that when I first got the vision, right? And so, but then I kept thinking about it, and I'm praying and fasting at that point, and it got clearer and clearer that then I saw this person in a jail cell, right?
Mhm.
Seemingly been there for years because this situation been holding you, right?
Right.
Subconsciously in your mind, seemingly for years in a jail cell, thinking that they're locked up, like they've been behind these bars.
Mhm.
But when you finally got in the word, when you finally go back and realize, when you go back to foundation and you like, wait a minute. No, you walk up to the door, the gate has been open the whole time.
The whole time. Yep.
The
The
whole
whole
time.
time.
You could just open it up and walk
Yep.
through. These chains that are on you, they you thinking you locked up, they sitting there holding you, right?
Right.
Even
Right.
you thinking you being held hostage.
Right.
But that you could just like a bracelet, click it off
Yeah.
at any given time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's what I mean by holding you hot. Like in your mind, you think that you are, right?
Right. Right.
You're right, honey. You're not.
Mhm.
That is the
Yeah.
point. You're not. With God, we are not. But we, subconsciously, we are holding ourselves. Like we hold on it for so long.
Mhm. Mhm.
I love that you said that. That was good.
Yes.
Look at God. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Mhm.
I had no idea. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I feel like one of the things that helped me, and this is one of the reasons why I do Men's Month, it's one of the things that helped me when I first started my just this very intentional healing journey. Because after Big Mama and my stepfather passed, I spiraled into the depression, anxiety, and started having panic attacks. And
Mhm.
when I got very intentional, like, okay, Lord, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live in this darkness.
Right.
I started fasting and praying and just doing these extended fasting. Um, One of the things that I realized was that we can fall down. I was listening to Les Brown, and he said, if you fall down, as long as you can look up, you can
Can
get up.
look up. You can get up. That's what he said. That's what he said. Oh, I love me some Les Brown.
No, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. But
Mhm.
it's just amazing. It's amazing how things show up. We don't know all of the things that we've all been through.
Mhm.
But I was saying, when I started that fasting journey, it was a man, right, that shared his testimony. And I was like, man, if he has the courage and the strength to say these things happen to him and this and that and whatever
Mhm.
else, and to come and talk about it in this group, what am I doing? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why I can do, like, if a man can say this happened to him or this or that, or he felt this way, why can't I? Because no matter what, um, men look at each other as weak and when these happens, but it takes so much strength and so much courage to say, you know what, I wasn't my best and I was upset about some things and I wasn't feeling like anyone loved me or whatever it is, and I took some pills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
was feeling
Yeah.
hopeless in my situation. It takes strength to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is that false narrative, it's that stigma out there. And so, especially as a Christian man, and that was one of the things that I started when I really started this walk. And I said, Lord, what do you want me to do with all this information? I was like, we got to break this stigma, you know
Mm.
what I mean?
Right.
Associated with
Right.
Christians and mental health, and just stop. People are hurting, and it's everyone. And
Right.
we all
Right.
need help, and it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. Now, I want to journey a little bit to what I did know about.
Okay.
God is amazing in that. I'm so grateful. God is amazing in that. But we both, lost my cousin, your sister, Carol,
Mm-hmm.
and what happened with that, as people, I feel like grief I talk about a lot, because especially in a leadership role,
Mm-hmm.
and just in position. Even I call us the helper bees of the world, people that are always helping everyone else and neglecting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? We go to the funeral, we have our maybe day or two of our bereavement days, and then you go back to work and you're trying to go and act as if everything is fine, everything is okay, that you're okay, even though your heart is broken, right? You've lost a
Mm-hmm.
very significant person, but we try to move and go on. Can you talk a little bit about that journey and what you learned about yourself in that process, in that journey?
Oh, yeah. Uh, Grief is not something that I historically have been able to, I guess, go through a process.
Hmm.
Um, I'll say this, and it goes back before her, uh, when when my grandfather died, Papa, when he passed. I was not allowed, I guess allowed in a sense. I think with all of the because I'd venture to say I may have been one of the closest people to him,
Yes.
or that he was to me.
Yeah.
He was the closest to me.
Hmm.
Uh, and I wasn't allowed to really grieve
Yes.
through that I guess in a productive way.
Hmm.
Which I'll even say this, that to this day I have not grieved
Yeah.
that loss.
Yeah.
And he passed, I believe it was 1978.
Yeah.
Have not been able to. I have not processed that. With when Big Mama passed, um, I was not able to really go through that also. In a sense to where nobody had really saw it,
Yeah.
but it had been after her death. I went 6 months without coming to Tyler,
Hmm.
and then when my dad passed, I wasn't able to really grieve that either. With him, I had to be strong in order to put the service together, and
Hmm.
and all of that.
Yeah.
Um, and really didn't. Now, one thing with that was that I was able, and I guess that was something that kind of helped me. I was able to go through the forgiveness process
Mm.
with him while he was on his deathbed, and it was more of me forgiving him,
Yeah.
or coming to that point. When it came to my sister, to Carol, and her passing, which we're
Hmm.
just over a year for that. I was not. Um, I had not gone through the grieving process of that. Now, let me just say this. I believe that everybody around me in all of those cases did what they thought was best.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, that I believe that people was there for me,
Mhm.
but it's the not grieving was keeping the task at hand,
Yeah.
um, at the forefront. With her death, I 1 minute. I gave myself 1 minute
Yeah.
to grieve her death. 1 minute. What
Wow.
out of the whole year that she's been gone, it was 1 minute that I allowed myself to grieve it, and I've learned through that that there was a lot that I didn't deal with, wasn't able to deal with at the time, um, until October the 1st, to be exact, October the 1st of 2024.
Yes.
Um, Heavyweight hit me, and the doctors describe it as a panic attack.
Mhm.
And that was with dealing with her death, dealing with a lot of pressure from everywhere.
Mm.
Uh, and so it hit me then, had the panic attack, thought I was having a heart attack. Through that, my doctor said, you need to talk to somebody. I've never been one to do that, but
Yeah.
she was like, no, you need to talk to someone, and she recommended. Oh, great! He was a great guy, older white man,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and he was good. And what I learned through that is that I was angry with her.
Mhm.
I was angry with her. How could you leave
Yeah.
me? And when I would say she could help it.
Mhm.
I would say she could help it. If you look at everything, if you'd have stopped this, if you'd have stopped doing that, if
Yeah.
uh, I would say she could have helped it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it as though you chose to
Yeah.
leave. To leave, you chose to leave,
Yeah.
and so I was angry.
Mm.
And what he did was, and here is the here. Gosh, I love. There was two things he had me to do.
Mhm.
One for the he had me well the at the hospital they told me you need to take 7 days off. So I took the 7 days off. He said no church, no nothing, just nothing.
Yeah.
My wife snatched me up and took me to New Brunswick and
Yeah.
took the phone from me and all
That's
of that, and I couldn't
very
couldn't talk
good.
or do it. Yeah, yeah. But uh, but one thing that one of the things that he recommended to me was he said to handle the pressure, you need to have some consistent time that you're not doing anything,
Mm. That's
uh, not focusing on anything, just you being with you, no family stuff, no church stuff,
yeah.
no
Mm.
none of that.
Right.
And I was struggling with that because it even when in the past, even when we would go on vacation, and I'd be very honest with you, I was going on them just to keep my wife quiet.
Of course.
And so yeah, and
She
so
was working.
I'm yeah, I'm on vacation, but I'm sneaking away from her, and I'm still dealing
Of course. Of
with
course.
stuff.
Of course.
And so he was like, "No, you need some real away time from everything." And
Mhm.
so I was struggling with that. And here's one thing that helped me so much. He said, "Buy your coloring book," and he said, "Spend 30 minutes a day just coloring."
Yes.
Just focusing on the book, just focusing on the colors. He was like, "Don't worry about whether you in line, within the lines colored and all of that." He
Right.
said, "You just color." And
Mhm.
so I started doing that, and I actually to this point I'm doing that every day.
Mhm.
The 30 minutes before I'm going to bed, I sit down and color.
Mhm.
Uh, and the second thing he told me, he said, with the anger that you have for your sister, sit down and write her a letter.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sat down, and He's and he the first letter I wrote, he said, "This is too formal. You're acting like you're writing a letter to
Yes,
He said, "No, pour out your feelings." He said,
yeah,
just cause." He said, "Don't worry about whether you're the
let it be.
nouns in the right place, whether
Yeah,
you
yeah,
and all of that, whether it's proper English and all that." He said, "Don't worry about that. Just sit down and write her a letter." And I
yes,
sat down and poured out my heart,
yes,
this letter to her,
yes,
and that lifted a whole lot of burdens.
yes,
Lifted
yes.
a whole lot of burdens. So
Yes. People will be surprised. What he used is what's called cognitive behavioral therapy. These are tactics or techniques that help you to release that energy that's trapped inside of you, those emotions that are trapped. What the
mm,
coloring does is it helps that baby boy in you, that didn't get to grieve, that didn't get to have that time. It helps that baby boy in you. And so the coloring is very nostalgic. And so doing
mhm.
things that are very nostalgic, that make you happy, that bring you joy, that you can go back to just this simple time and place when all you
Yes.
had to do was color.
Yeah.
Right. All you had to do was color
Right.
before all the things, before all the expectations, before all the things that somebody out there was like, coloring? What?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a very intentional therapeutic regimen to just color, to
Hmm.
just color. And, again, and then the letter it's another tactic, it's another technique where it is again the release,
Right. Right.
releasing all of the things. And this is a very good technique for you to do if you have someone that has passed away, that you're like, oh man, they're gone. So I'll never get to say the thing. No, 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 no. It's not too late because again, and no one understand. I feel Carol's spirit with me. They are still here with us. I feel my big mama, I feel my stepfather, I feel my
Mhm.
nephew, they're here with us. They're not gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
so understanding and knowing that even you can have conversations. Sound crazy. I know. Yeah, I know. It sounds a little crazy. But you can even have conversation. But if you're not there, you can surely write a letter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the key is not being, oh, I might hurt their feelings. Oh, I don't want to say too much. Oh, no. Just like he said, write it. Write it without in anything, whatever
Hmm.
it is. What I found, I shared with you the first time that I did this a few years ago. The person told me to set a timer, 7 minutes, because I was like, well, what am I going to say? I don't even know what I want to say or whatever. So don't even think about it. It's no preconceived thought.
Right.
You don't
Right.
have to have a
Right.
preconceived thought. Set a timer for 7 minutes and just put the title, whoever it is, to whoever, put it at the top and just write. And you will be amazed
Hmm.
and what is lying inside of the subconscious mind to just come out. And that again is a chain.
Yeah. Yeah.
That has been kind of holding you
Yes.
hostage, that is not
Yes.
really holding you hostage, that you
That's it.
can just break free
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
from. Very good. I love that, honey. I love that. I love that. I love this healing journey for you. I did not know. I didn't know all the things.
Yes.
This is why God is amazing. Y'all don't even understand how much technical difficulty we had trying to get this together. And I said to him, I didn't know what was going to come out, but I knew
Yeah.
for sure because I know this is how it works. I knew for sure. I said this testimony is going to be powerful. I didn't know what
Mhm.
all was going to happen because I don't pre-plan any of what it is. I let the Holy Spirit does what he do,
Yeah.
what it
Let it
does,
do what it do. Yeah.
let it
Let
do
it
what
do
it
what
do.
it do. Yeah.
And I'm amazed at what happens or what comes out. I'm not surprised about it. I'm just always grateful and just amazed. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Lord. But I thank you for your transparency because
Mhm.
again, as the bishop of the church, to have, we hold these titles and again to be a man and to have this thing about weakness and all of the things and understanding that there is not anything weak about anything that you've said today,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how much strength and how much courage it takes in leadership. And you don't even know who this is going to touch. This is going to touch people that you don't even know. The people that helped me when I was on my journey, I have never met these people. I've never met Eric Thomas. I've never met Inky Johnson. I'm going to say yet. I've never met these people yet. I've never met Les Brown. But these
Yeah.
people, their stories, just pastors that were online that I was like, Lord, I got to find a word. So let me just, I knew enough to surround myself, my ears,
Mm-hmm.
something positive in my ears to listen to other people's story. Lord, I don't feel like that yet, but one day I will. Lord, I don't feel like I'm in the light yet. I'm still in darkness, but one day
Right.
I'm gonna have that light that he has around him. I'm gonna have that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
get there. And so you don't even know who you're gonna help. You don't know who you're gonna inspire. You don't know who because statistically, again, 1 in 5. So think about how many people are in the Church of the Living God that are not I call it suffering in silence.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Right. We give our testimony gives people permission to start their own healing journey. And
Yeah.
so I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. And understand that it is a journey,
It is. It is. Yeah.
it is a journey. And what you said about I just want to address this really quickly. What you said about not being able to grieve Papa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were 9, 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understanding, and again, this is one thing, and this is not for anyone to feel bad. Like I don't talk about there's no malice in what he's saying. There's no malice in what we're saying, right? But we just didn't know, right? The
Right.
parents didn't know. They thought, especially back in the day, oh no, that's a baby. They too young. Oh, you don't need to
Yeah.
grieve. You don't need
Yeah.
to see that, or
Right.
and not understanding that you sharing with me, you every morning you get up and Papa would unlock the door for you and you go have breakfast with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you
Right.
sitting around and y'all watching TV together. Like you said, that was a very significant person in your life. I'm saying this to someone
Mm-hmm.
who has a child who, you may be experiencing grief, but understand that that child is grieving too,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Even when Big Mama passed, it was, we have everyone in our family, and guys, it's hundreds of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, it's hundreds of us, but all of us had our own relationship with her. We all
Mhm.
are grieving. We all were grieving. And it is when you're made to feel as if your feelings don't matter, or you're not grieving like I'm grieving, or you're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like you have no idea what that does. And I think, the conversation and the eyes just need to be open to that, of how you are allowing people around you
Mm-hmm.
grieve
Yeah.
to, you know, yeah.
Yeah. It was something that my mom, me and my wife now, Tylo,
Mhm,
uh, had gone through different times of trying to conceive,
mhm,
uh, and everything, and we've had the struggles and the miscarriage. We had two
mhm,
miscarriages and all of that, and my mom told Tylo, and this is something that I'll give to everybody. She said that she said, yes, you physically went through the process, but
mhm.
don't forget those were his babies also,
Yeah,
and he may be. And so it turned it around to where Tylo, even what she was going through with it,
yeah,
uh, was coming and asking, "Are you okay?
yes,
What do you feel?" So, and I think sometimes in the morning, in bereavement, or in a moment of loss, I
yes,
think a lot of times we just focus or look at the person that is directly affected,
sure.
and not give attention to those that are indirectly affected also.
Yeah.
Something that I've learned, and even dealing with now, with a lot of people that are sick,
Hmm.
a lot of people that are sick that are going through, and even in a lot of terminal ill situations, we focus and we look at that person and we talk about how are they doing, how are they doing, but we don't look at the person as somebody that's taking care of them.
Yes.
What
That's right.
about what the caregiver is going through?
Yeah.
It may be in a situation a husband may. What about what how the wife or the wife may be? What about that
Mm.
husband
Yeah.
or a child that's having? What about that person?
Right.
Uh, we got to learn.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We got
I paused and hang on.
okay.
Go ahead. Go to what about what the, and I'll do it there.
Okay. What about what that person is going through and having to deal with? How they're and in a lot of instances they're having to deny themselves
Right.
of things in order to make sure that this person is done. I know for I've known a few cases where the person had a terminal illness and the caregiver
Hmm.
was the one that ended up passing before that actual person did.
Wow.
And so I think and I think a lot of times we got to look at, like I said, look at who's indirectly affected by it.
Mm.
Also, not saying neglect the person that's directly affected, but looking at the person that's indirectly affected also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. And that's a really, really good point. I know, and I definitely have stood in the gap for that reason. I knew how I felt when Big Mama passed. But speaking of caregivers like your sister, Lay being
Yeah.
there, taking care of Big Mama and being there. I've always, when I'm fasting, I have my family, just standing
Mhm.
in the gap for different things. But I remember that very specifically because I thought, man, to be with somebody in and day out, you're right.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's a different level that is not even taken into account, and people don't
Right.
realize the layers, that are there.
Right. Right.
So it is a loss. It is something that the ripple effect of it can shift,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
trajectory of someone's life. You know what I
Right.
mean? Grief shifts the trajectory of someone's life if you allow it to. And so, again, I just want you. We're gonna wrap up really in a minute, but I want you
Okay.
to just as a pastor, I know you deal with a lot of funerals, and you know, and so it was something in my spirit to speak to that, because I know it's probably to a certain degree you really can't allow all of that to really come in. So it's almost like I feel you've probably conditioned your mind some to not. It's only so far that you can go mentally, because I feel like, and maybe it's just me as a woman, but I feel like, allowing in certain situations I've been in, to allow myself to feel all the way in it, to step
Mhm.
all the way in that thing. I'm like, oh no, I can't, because I need to continue to go. I have to continue to function. I have to continue to. So it's like you can only allow yourself to go so far. Has that been your experience, or how do you, deal with, let alone the loss of your family members, but just so much grief because you're preaching all of these funerals and, all of that, maybe to a pastor or somebody else that may be trying to endure or figure that out.
Oh, I'll, it's a few things on that. I'll say. Uh, the first thing is to make sure that, and this is for everybody, but I'll put a lot of emphasis on the man.
Hmm.
Make sure that you have for prepared for your family to deal with the loss of losing you.
Mhm.
Making sure all the arrangements are made, making sure that they're set up financially, making sure that, and this is something that brings, I've found in my experience with it, that brings a lot of burden to the family. They're having to deal with your loss,
Yes.
then having to try to figure out what to do and how they're going to pay for what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So my thing is, first make sure that everything is set up, even to the point to where if you have to sit down and do your own program, do it, and make sure that things are in a place to where it's easily found.
Mhm.
Um, the next thing that I would say is that take the time to grieve. Take the time to grieve. With me, depending on who it is
Mhm.
that I'm having to, as the pastor or as a minister, having to preach all of these
Yes.
services and everything, uh, make sure that you internally take care of yourself.
Mhm.
There's a lot of times that we grieve through these losses, or even it may even bring up
Yeah.
some of the your past grief, but you have to take the time to yourself, take the time to do whatever you need to do. I would recommend every preacher, pastor, minister, however, whatever the term is, I would recommend that they find a counselor,
Yeah.
find, or if not that, someone that they could actually open up their heart to and talk to,
Mhm.
uh, and do it on a consistent basis, because it will affect you.
Yeah.
Uh, and the next thing is that keep keep the first thing first. Keep the main thing, and that is what you're there for.
Yeah.
So,
Like that. I
yeah.
like I love it. I love it. Again, cousin, I thank you.
I thank you, and I really appreciate it. This is great. This is great. I was a little nervous from the start, but
I
we
know.
made it through. We made
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. Again, your testimony is amazing, and to see you on the other side as one of the youngest bishops, or the youngest bishop,
Yeah.
um, at the Church of the Living God. I know, to know that I've always heard the stories of Papa having you and Brandon on that front
On
row
the
of
front
here.
row. Yeah,
And
on
so
the front row.
no, he is just shining down and smiling and just
Well, I hope so. I hope
yeah.
so.
Yes, honey. Yes, he is. And that's the thing, honey. I don't feel like he ever wanted us to be perfect. I know he just wanted us to have that walk with God. And so
Mhm,
you have
mhm.
done that. You have done that. And so I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
And so, family, I'm gonna let you go because I know you're busy.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you. I
Love
love
you.
you. And
Love you too.
I
And
appreciate
love everybody that's watching, and ain't nothing y'all can do about
it.
it.
All right, family, y'all say goodbye to my cousin.
Okay, okay. Bye bye. Bye. All right. You be blessed, dog. You be
Thank
blessed.
you, honey.
All
Thank
right. Love you. Uh-huh.
you. You
Bye.
too. Bye. Well, I'm going to say that God is amazing in just how He does things. I did not know all of that was in Him. I didn't know He had went through all of the things, but I do this on purpose. I do this on purpose. I don't. I have an idea of what I want to talk about, but I always allow the Holy Spirit to lead and just to guide and to do what He does because. Um, if I would have had a set of questions that this is how it's supposed to be and this is what I want to talk about and this and that and the third, then it wouldn't have flowed. And I feel like what happened in that powerful testimony would not have been wouldn't have had a place, right? But we talked about a lot today. We're going to be talking about a lot this month. And it is the journey for men and hearing different men's story. Why? To empower you, honey, to inspire you, because I know that just listening to someone's story, just hearing what people have been through, made a tremendous impact on my mental health journey. And I feel like I am you and you are me. We are all going through it, whether we're talking about it or not. Statistically, whether we're talking about it or not, there are so many people suffering in silence. And I just want you to know that you don't have to. You don't have to. It really is just as simple as a choice. Yes, you can make a choice today to just do something different. I know, I know it's hard, right? I know you like, man, I'll never. But I promise you, I I promise you, if you take one step, God will take two. I promise you that. Just try them. Look, just try them for yourself. That's all I want you to do. Well, family, this is what we're doing every day this month, the month of June. It is Men's Month. It is Lessons and Blessings, the men's edition. And your girl is so happy that you're here with me. But y'all know how I do, like Mr. Les Brown, I aspire to inspire until I expire, honey. That's what I'm doing. What you doing? Okay, boo. Yeah, have a good one.